Before we get into it, become part of the notification squad by hitting the bell next to the subscribe button on YouTube. Welcome back to a revived type of series that we are doing, Scouting the Enemy. We are here with Pieter Brown of Futbol Miami TV. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely. As always, I'm joined by Michael Weiss. I am AJ, but yeah, we will get right into this. I mean, Lionel Messi has joined you guys. It was a barn burner of a game in terms of mostly Cruz Azul until, you guys kind of scored one against the run of play with Taylor, I believe. And then Messi just did his magic in stoppage time and kind of bailed you guys out. But how'd you feel about that match anyway? And the first iteration of Leagues Cup for you guys?
Yeah, so for that game, I was sitting behind the goal that Messi ended up scoring on. So it was an amazing feeling with the supporters, the La Familia in Miami, massive supporters groups. It was insane. But to that point, for the first half, we just saw Cruz Azul attacking us. And, if it wasn't for our goalkeeper, Drake Callender, the score could have been 4-0 at half. I mean, it was Cruz Azul was, look, we're not great. We're not a very good team. Let's be honest. Last place in the East, we've got a long way to go and hoping Messi can bail us out. But it was definitely a nail biter, and just thanking that we had someone like Drake Callender. And you got to wonder, how long is Drake Callender going to be with Inter Miami? Are there European clubs that are going to be looking at him? Because now with Messi here, everybody's looking at everything. So it was an amazing feeling. And with Messi scoring at the end, it is a Hollywood movie script that just seems too real to be true. If I told you that's how it would end, you'd say, it's just not realistic. But it is. It was amazing.
Speaking of that, right. Yeah, it is Hollywood. I mean, definitely you have LeBron James, you have Serena Williams, you have Kim Kardashian showing up at the game. And is it surreal? Is it something that's I would say 2 months ago, but we talked about it like just briefly before the show. Does it feel like it's just a very it was dire probably for you guys. You guys are unfortunately in last place, but the fortunes have definitely changed for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. But you mentioned the famous people. That's kind of how we thought this whole thing would launch. We thought this club was supposed to be the glitz and the glamour. Look, our ownership came into this league with so much bravado that we were going to teach the league about football. You guys play soccer. We're going to teach you about football. And so much bravado, and we fell flat on our face, right? But we expected, with having an owner like David Beckham, being in South Florida, because technically we're not in Miami yet, you'd have that glitz and glamour every single game. And it hasn't quite been there. We get your random famous people when Beckham's in town. We've had your famous boxers or some pop stars here and there, but nothing like Gloria Estefan was there as well. So nothing like this last game. This is what I think we thought it was going to be. We always thought in South Florida, in order to be a big, because it's a fickle sports market down here. In order for it to be hit big time, you need a big time player. Took a few years to land it, but we definitely did. And it feels like this is the way it was supposed to be from the beginning. That might sound a little cocky and egotistical, but that's just kind of how we thought. We were going to be the LA Galaxy of the East, kind of like what they were, but on the East. And it's finally come to fruition and at the right time, bailing us out, hopefully, at the right time.
Yeah, you guys really, have enough firepower now that it's making LA seem to be a little embarrassed, because they're the ones usually with the hotshot signings and the big names and the splashy players. And you know what? You're embarrassing them a little bit by saying, we're the LA of the East. We're going to take the headlines away from you guys for once. We're going to be the ones in the front. So I think as an East Coast, West Coast thing, that's kind of we got something to say now in terms of big players. So that's pretty cool in our own backyard. One thing before we get into a little bit of Miami versus Atlanta, one thing your game with Cruz Azul taught us, at least, is kind of how to play against Cruz in the group. So I'm really happy about seeing that happen before we went and jumped into the fray, because it seems like very much you need to weather Cruz's attack early and really hold on. And my goodness, if Pineda doesn't try and do some kind of like holding on for dear life, all guys behind the ball just for like maybe the first half to survive it, Cruz runs out of steam, and then you can get a couple back if you play a little harder in the later half of the game. So I want to thank you guys for that. I mean, that was very good, trying to show us kind of the blueprints of how to do it.
And they attack fast. That's one thing I noticed is it's just out of nothing. They attack with speed. And our defenders, don't really react very quickly. If you watch us for any length of time, you see how slow our defenders are to react. And that's got to change. That definitely has to change. We know that like Alba is supposed to be coming in. That could help, although he does attack a lot. So I don't know. We could be caught with him up in the attack, and we're still a little bit lacking in defense. But that's a key for Atlanta is attack with speed and attack, press on our defenders, and they don't seem to react well.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure that exactly will bode super well for us because, attacking fast, we don't really try to do that too much. But on the road, hopefully we can kind of rewire our minds and do that. But, we definitely need to talk about how you guys are not only Atlanta 2.0, Atlanta United 2.0, but also FC Barcelona 2.0. It's quite maddening, actually. I'm in parts jealous, and in parts, it is like nostalgic thing that I'm just like, ugh, because not only is Miguel Almiron's wife and everybody else, they're all hanging out with Jose Martinez, Tata Martino's there. Yeah, this is bitter. This is very bitter. But how do you feel about all these guys that have success throughout the other places coming together at Inter Miami?
Well, I feel great. And you know what's great about having Joseph is you guys are still paying for the majority of his contract. So it's great. Pieter.
Damn,
right,
Pieter.
Dagger in the heart.
He's just saying there's nothing wrong about what he said. It's all accurate.
I was watching one of the games before Leagues Cup, and I was sitting, pitch side. I mean, I got lucky and got upgraded with some friends. And this guy is yelling when Joseph was missing opportunities. And he's yelling, $4 million. And I looked over at it and said, yeah, but we're not paying that.
Yeah.
We got him on a good deal. We're paying maybe, I forget the exact number, but we might be paying one of those millions. And you guys are picking up the rest. So I feel really good.
You guys are paying for the chicken and rice.
Yeah.
So you got it. You got it. And when it comes to like Tata just seemed to make sense because this ownership group wants, that international flair. They're not going to look at, a good quality MLS coach. Like take, for example, Jim Curtin. I'm a big Jim Curtin fan. He is a coach that has proven himself in this league, gets little respect, I think, even within Philadelphia. I've talked to the guys in Philadelphia, and even in there, they don't give him a ton of respect. But that's a kind of coach that Inter Miami would never look at, I think, even though he's proven in MLS. They want somebody that's more global. But me and a lot of other fans, we want somebody that knows the league because I think that's super important.
And he's best of both worlds, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And he's got a relationship with Messi.
Just be careful, Pieter, with having plastic fans down in Miami, because Jim Curtin gets real upset about that.
Yeah. I mean, Miami's already been known for being plastic forever.
That's why
right?
I'm like a little bit
it's nothing new.
You guys might take the same kind of hit that we did, so we'll see.
It's nothing new.
They are one of the plastic surgery capitals of the world. So
100%.
So, yeah, that fully does jive. So
and we're also
that in LA, I think, probably right. But,
yeah.
We're also the home of fair weather fans. Let's be honest. South Florida is a tough sports market. If you're not winning, they're not showing. And the fact that, in all honesty, this has been before Messi. This has been the best attended year for Inter Miami. Some of that you could say is excitement for what people thought was coming, but it was still unsure. But we sold more season tickets this year than ever before. And that was a surprise for how bad we are, right? But South Florida is a fickle sports market. You go to a Dolphins game and it's majority Jets fans, right? It's just the way it is in South Florida. So we've got all these people jumping on the bandwagon. Yeah. Well, and now, I mean, you've got so many people that are just joining in because of Messi. And look, I've seen the comments on my YouTube page of people just saying, I'm here for Messi. I'm here while he's here. So I know that I will lose that subscriber once he's gone. I get it. But for now, welcome. And hopefully they stick around, because it is a little bit, it kind of stinks when you think, oh, they're so fair weather. That there's a new supporters club that popped up, 305 Messiahs. Will they stick around after Messi's gone? I doubt it, but we can hope.
Yeah, you'll at least get like a percentage of that'll stick around. There's got to be, right? So, that'll be good. That's there.
The hope.
Yeah. Yeah, we got one fan
on Messi. I mean,
like on our Discord, we have one fan from Greece who came over for Yakimakis. So, and we're just like, that's awesome. I love the international aspect of that.
Yeah.
But yes, on Lionel Messi, arguably the best player ever. What does he bring to your team, you think? Like, obviously that's a big overreaching question, but if you want to break that down into parts, totally open to it.
Yeah, obviously one of the things I thought was really cool, because look, I've seen Messi in person once before. I think once. Barcelona played at the Hard Rock Stadium years ago against Chivas USA in front of 60, 70,000, whatever it was. And I was there. He was there. Barcelona recently played at Drive Pink in the preseason, but he, clearly was not there because he was with PSG. So I think I've only seen him in person once. But when I saw him in person, I was in the nosebleeds. It was pretty far away. This time, I was really close to Messi. It's a small stadium. Everybody's close to Messi. And what you really appreciate how he plays in tight spaces. And I'm not saying anything anybody doesn't already know, but it's just so cool when you see it on your team in your stadium. The same grounds, not the same stadium, the same grounds that you've had the Fort Lauderdale Strikers, the Miami Fusion, Ray Hudson, Nene Kobias, Gerd Mueller, all these greats playing. And now the greatest of the greats, arguably, is now playing. And playing in tight spaces, I think, is something that we have never been able to really do. They're always trying to cross it into the middle, or in some occasions, you'd have someone like Rodolfo Pizarro, who is no longer with the team, but he would play well in tight spaces, but would hold on to the ball too long and then would eventually just lose it.
Oh, we know all about that. We know all about players that do that.
But Messi knows how to hold on to the ball, beat 2 or 3 people, and find the right pass. Or Busquets. We're talking so much about Messi, but Busquets, the silent guy in there that just knows how to find Messi. And he's directing traffic. I got blasted a little bit on this vlog that I made, where in the vlog I questioned, they gave Messi the captain's armband, and I questioned that. And I got blasted a little bit for that because, I said, does he deserve the captain's armband? And everybody's like, well, giving me all the stats of all the championships he's won. Of course he deserves it. My point was, he doesn't even know half the players' names yet. Does he really deserve to be the captain?
Being a captain.
There's more to it.
Just that, exactly. So I completely agree with you to question it.
Yeah, but watching Busquets, I started thinking, now that's a captain. He's out there. He's the quarterback. He's directing people that he also doesn't know their names, but he's directing people in the right positions and finding the right passes and all that kind of stuff. I think, he's going to get overlooked because we have Messi, but he makes Messi look better by a lot.
Which makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's, I think, with all the years that they played together, I mean, the two of them have played together the most appearances, together in their careers. But it's also, I get what you mean. It's, he's a player that's, can't be that quarterback, but there is this, he's going to defer to Messi. You know, like
But that's
anybody
okay.
on the team is going to defer to Messi, right? And no one's gonna be because Yedlin was your captain
Yeah.
to start the season, correct? And
But-
yeah, Messi's not gonna
Well-
listen to to Yedlin. So
Yeah.
I think
Gregory
that-
was
yeah.
Gregory was our captain until he got injured. Then it's kind of gotten passed around a little bit. I think even Joseph Martinez wore the armband a game or two.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, in that sense, it's still, I think, Messi, for me, from an onlooker outside of your club, it does make sense because, there is just this clout, this absolute clout. And I think that's what it is, too. There's an optics. They want, to see Lionel Messi walk the whole team out. That first image, the first player that you see. And that's what gets the crowd going. That's what gets the optics in terms of viewership. I mean, usually you save the striker for the last person that walks out and whatnot. But I think in this instance, it just makes sense. But but in terms of like global impact on Inter Miami and your market there, what does Messi bring that you guys maybe initially didn't have before that you're excited about?
Well, I mean, he brings all eyes on the club. I mean, just overnight, practically, we're like the #1 followed Instagram page in all of sports in the United States. Over established brands like the LA Lakers. So, I mean, he brings a lot of eyeballs. And one of the cool things that he's going to bring, and I think I mentioned this earlier, is attention just to the team. So going back to Drake Callender, how well he's doing. Now people that may not have been watching him are now watching. European clubs, so players like Benjamin Kramaki, another young Argentinian-American player that maybe he gets noticed in a European club and gets so now we become a selling team as well because all eyes, all eyeballs. I mean, breaking records for the most viewed game in U.S. soccer history was this Cruz Azul game in the United States. I'm not sure what the worldwide views were, but in the United States, somewhere around 12. I think it was around 12 million, 12.5 million, something like that.
I think so, yeah.
But yeah, it's the most viewed. And so, it brings the eyeballs, brings the attention, but he also brings expectations and criticism and all, everybody just, criticizing our defense, and rightly so, but all eyeballs are just on Inter Miami. And it gives opportunities, we're seeing and I'm curious if you guys have seen it in Atlanta, the Inter Miami pink jersey everywhere. Friends of mine in New Jersey are sending me pictures of the Inter Miami shirt in store windows. Just some random, mom and pop shop selling the Messi shirt. It's everywhere. Branding, we are going to be the biggest brand. Whether we're the best team or not is yet to be seen. But we are and will be the biggest brand in MLS, for sure.
Yeah, I haven't been seeing it
so
yet, but I'm
on
going
those-
out to a stadium soon. I'm actually going to see the Newcastle-Chelsea game on Wednesday at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I'm curious to see if I'll see any there. I wouldn't be surprised. It'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I think no doubt. No doubt there will be. But definitely on those expectations that you mentioned. Obviously, you guys will have plenty of plaudits, I'm sure. So, I'm not ragging on you that you guys are in last place, but
we're bad.
But the expectations now, does he bring you guys into a playoff spot? You guys have 12 league games left, right? And so, it's not a lot to be able to make that big of an impact. Probably Leagues Cup might be the bigger impact, but in terms of the league, can you guys make the playoffs?
And sure, will we? Probably not, unless we. I think people, people that are smarter than I am have kind of said we need to win like 8 or 9 of those 12 games.
Yeah,
that's a lot to ask.
Yeah,
that's a lot. So I would say probably not. Maybe it kind of echoes a little bit of what David Beckham saw when he came into the league. They did not make the playoffs the first year. I don't even know if they made it the second year. We would be expected to make it the second year for sure. Championship run or nothing, or it's a failure. But for this year, I think you're right. The bigger opportunities are Leagues Cup and actually Open Cup as well, because we're in the semifinals. We have to play next game Cincinnati. Great team. Who would ever have thunk that? I mean, they were how many times did they win the Wooden Spoon? Now all of a sudden they got the right coach and the right players, and they're tearing it up.
Yeah,
so
that's gonna definitely be some weakness in Leagues Cup though. So you might want to pay attention to that if you go and play them in a tournament setting.
Yeah. In the middle of August or whatever, we're going to play them in the Open Cup, and so I think it's these two tournaments that are really more important right now than the actual league. They're more reachable.
So I will have to put you to this this prediction then. Will you guys win a cup in 2020?
This year?
This year.
Yeah, I'm gonna. So I'm always the in our show, me and Uncle Ed, my co-host, I'm always the pessimist. He's the guy that's gonna say yes, we're winning everything, and I'm always going well, So I think I would say, trying to be a little bit of both, I would say yes, we would win the Open Cup. I'm gonna go for, and I'm gonna pick that particular tournament. I think we have a good, strong chance to win that tournament. But again, if again, so many of the expectations are on Miami, I think we have to temper those expectations a little bit. If we do not win a trophy this year, I don't want to hear that it's a failure. He's come into the league in a last place team at the tail end of the back half of the season. Inter Miami dug themselves in a real nice hole. So I don't think the expectation should be, win or fail this year. Next year, all arguments and finger wagging and all that stuff is definitely open.
Yeah, and you'll probably have your full complement of the whole team they are apparently designing down there to have. So by then.
Right. They're also bringing in a bunch of youth players. So we were talking about Messi and Busquets, but don't forget Jordi Alba, and they're trying to get the vampire, the biter, Suarez. I mean, that rumor has got legs, actually, even though I'm not excited about it. But then the U20. So Campana is our striker, 21 years old. He's our young DP, and some people thought that the team might market him. But he actually is the key. They have to keep him because that opens up the U22 initiative slots. Mm-hmm. And they've already signed Diego Gomez, who they feel really good about, from Paraguay. I think he's around 20 years old. Then I just heard that Facundo Farias just signed. They haven't sent out a press release yet, but I've heard that that's a done deal. And then they're working on a guy named Tomas Aviles from Argentina. Farias is from Argentina as well. So these are all like 20-year-old players that they're banking on to bring some youth and speed into this team. So yeah, the second half of the season, if they all gel, and we all know that MLS is a unique league and sometimes it takes a little while to gel. And next year we would have those full complement of players with whoever else they may also bring in. It's going to look completely different.
Yeah.
Is Joseph Martinez still there?
But this is
yeah, I don't think so. Because, the deal with you guys where you're paying for the majority of his salary, I think is this year only.
Yep.
So we've got him on a nice little loan deal, basically. It's like tryout. If he lights it up, sure. But the problem is he would have to be a DP with the amount of money he makes. And if we've got our DPs already signed with Messi and Busquets and Campana, we don't have any more spots. Now, we all kind of feel like Jorge Mas, the owner of Inter Miami, is pushing for expansion of the league, restrictions and, loosening them up, maybe adding another DP. Adding another DP. But if they add another DP and they bring in Suarez, well, again, no space for Joseph Martinez.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so I would say no, he's not here
I think
next
he's
year.
Probably going to be gone next year, too. I think it just makes sense.
Yeah,
and
not only that, in terms of, not only in terms of DP position, but also, in terms of the striker as well. Because obviously Suarez and Joseph Martinez would play the same position. So, the likelihood, very, very low. But, I mean, in terms of, getting to the game and, Well, for us, it's an away match. I think, yeah, this was a question I actually had before. So, in terms of truisms in MLS, it is very, very difficult for MLS teams to play on the road.
Right.
And more often than not, the home teams will win. But will the Messi effect change that for you guys? Because, travel is still a bitch.
Yeah. And Messi, obviously, the effect, he'll definitely play a part. But part of that Messi effect that I've heard people talk about, and I wonder if it will come into effect. Will he get that Michael Jordan kind of, preferential treatment from the referees? We didn't see that in this game because there was a couple calls that he could have gotten and didn't. Maybe they were questionable, but if he was getting preferential treatment, he definitely would have gotten them. So
the call for the foul, a little soft. Let's be real, for the free kick, but
there were others that
kick.
Yeah, of course, there were others that they could have called. They would have been soft as well, but they could have called them.
Yeah,
and they didn't. So, but I wonder in this next game, it's the Messi effect. Are the referees out there to protect Messi? Are they out? Are the League's Cup referees thinking the same way? I know it's the same referee pool, but are they protecting the player for the good of MLS? And if they do, thank you. We appreciate that. But Messi will definitely have an effect for sure. Yeah. He's starting the game. Obviously, we don't think he'll go the full 90, so he's going to have to make his impact early. So you talk about withstanding an attack from Cruz Azul. I think that's what you guys are going to have to do, withstand the Messi effect in that first half and see how much into the second half he gets to. And you guys may end up being a second half team where that's where you're really trying to catch up.
We definitely
or take advantage.
We definitely are a second half team.
Just in general, right?
Oh, yeah.
That is right. Oh, exactly. We concede early, we score late, and we sometimes don't win it or really make much of a fuss at the end of the game if we're too far out of it. But yeah, no, we definitely make it interesting.
Yeah, we like to give the other team the advantage early because it gets boring if we don't. So we just like to give them one or two goals early on.
I hear you, because usually, we'll go down a goal, but then we'll get one back. But then within like less than a minute or so, we'll go down again. It's like, come on, we can't hold a lead.
Yeah, so we have some similarities for sure, and that's definitely worrisome because we don't. Okay, yes, we have a really messy light, but in Thiago Almada, and which talk about free kicks. He leads the league right now in free kick goals and goals from outside the box. It will be a very interesting matchup in terms of Argentinian diminutive playmakers. But obviously, teammates as well. World Cup winners.
No one foul anyone by the box or you're just done.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. And Lionel Messi, in terms of in this match against Caleb Wiley, who's 18 years old. I fear for our boy, our homegrown there. Also Miles Robinson, who he's a standout defender, but also will have to have a lot to contend with. Juanjo Porata, I fear for him as well. And yes, our midfield, I don't know, like it's those spaces that he's gonna drift into, Messi. I am incredibly concerned about this match.
We already concede that part of the field to every team anyway. So he's just going to be like, well, here I go. So it's going to be a little a little nervy. Usually, teams like to put some resistance in the defensive midfield. But our team, at least last game too, just not at all. Just walk right in. Come right in.
And I wonder what Messi thinks. Like, what is he... I was wondering after the game, when he's watching Inter Miami struggle in that first half against Cruz Azul, what is he thinking? What have I gotten myself into, or what have you? I mean, at the end of the day, he chose Miami more than just for the football reasons. It is as family friendly as it can be for him. He's going to be loved in this. There's so many Argentinians, so many South Americans. He's going to, he could do no wrong, right? Even if he sucks, he could do no wrong, which that won't happen, right? But but I do wonder what he's thinking. And so same thing when he plays against Atlanta. Does he go against these defenders and just go, God, this is so easy. This is just going through. Or does he, the other side, is it a lot more difficult than he expects? We really don't know, because a lot of European players come here, South American players come here, and they find it a little more difficult than they expected. It's a lot more physical. He might want to dance around with the ball, and someone's just going to knock him over. And they may take a foul, but who cares? Exactly. It goes back to Beckham's first game, and I forgot who the player was, but he tackled Beckham in that very first game, and they said, "Welcome to MLS." Right? So it is different. However, watching Messi this past weekend, three defenders on him, and he still finds a way to dance away from them without them getting a touch on him. It's just the ball is glued to his feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't think we have that type of defender or guy, unless Ozzy Alonso maybe starts or something, but to really, put that shoulder into him and say that. Because Santiago Sosa, 22-year-old Argentine, he had Messi's poster in his bedroom. You have Caleb Wiley, like I said, the back line is not going to be those type of players that do that. So, yeah, it is going to be, I will be supremely interested who we start in midfield to counteract you guys, as well as Sergio Busquets. But, yeah, I think it's that time. It's that time of the episode to start making some predictions. And,
right before we do that, there's one little thing of history I wanted to get into, and that Atlanta United is very much cognizant of, is when we had Ezequiel Barco. The very good player who dances around a bunch of guys. And like you were saying, some players, they hold on to the ball a little too long, like Pizarro. Well, he was the most fouled player multiple seasons in a row, because he does his little dance and he beats a guy or two, and they just will take the foul every time. Wouldn't be surprised if you see Messi like one of the most fouled players in MLS.
And to your own danger, right? Because we saw what he did with a foul and a free kick. So at your own, risk.
At your own peril.
But I agree.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of ways that Messi can kill us, and that leads us to it. So prediction time. What's your I guess predicted lineup in terms of we know Messi, we know Busquets. Who else fills out the rest of the team for you?
I think you're going to see mostly a lot of the same players that we saw in the last game. Obviously, Ian Frey, poor kid, got tore up his left ACL, and he's just recovered from 2 ACLs in his right. The kid, and he's from my town, right? He's from my city, so it's always cheering for him. So he's obviously out, but Busquets, probably fills in that general area because he was playing kind of in that mid, central mid, defensive mid type of role. I don't think you see much different in the. What'll be interesting is does Tata favor starting the game Joseph Martinez or Campana? I am more of a Campana fan. I'm all about the youth. He's proven himself. Last year has been a little bit of a dip this year, but nobody, when you have someone like Pozuelo last year passing you the ball, you're a better forward. So now you've got, Busquets and Messi getting the ball. You're even that much better. So I'm dying to see if Campana starts the game. He'll definitely, I'm sure, play, but does he start the game? I'd like to see Messi, Busquets, and Campana in that attack starting. I think that for the most part, you're going to still see Yedlin in there and probably see mostly the same team. I'm drawing a blank on some players' names. Sergei Kristov in the back, who's our Ukrainian player, a little bit slow at times, but solid. And Kamal Miller has been really good. Came over from Montreal. He's been good in our Bryce Duke trade. Although they got a good trade. Bryce Duke scored in the Leagues Cup. That was a pretty nice goal. But we're so decimated with injuries that's why you see our youth movement going on right now. I know that this team has been applauded for playing so many youth players. Well, they didn't have a choice. Guys like Noah Allen might get a start. He played in this last game due to some injuries. What I'm afraid of is that, I don't want to see someone like Christopher McVeigh start, because I think we're exposed. He's slow. He gets his positioning quite often is off. But if Kristoff and Miller are still healthy, they're the ones, and McVeigh would come in off the bench. So I think that's where we're at.
Okay. Yeah. Well, just really quickly for us, I think we're gonna stick with that kind of 3-man back line that we've been doing, and so Abram, Juan Porata, and Miles Robinson back in with wingbacks of Caleb Wiley and Brooks Lennon. Do you agree, Michael?
Yep.
Yeah. And then that midfield, it's gonna be that's really the question, is who can stop Messi when he drifts infield, and
we don't have anyone who can do that.
Really going to be the thing, I think. Nope. So it's going to probably be Santiago Sosa, since Marco Ibarra got sent off to Toronto, and Tristan Miyomba, the new guy, might be able to play a part probably in the second half. I would say probably like 20 minutes or so. But Santiago Sosa, man, I fear for Mateo Sosetu, Marseille if they have to. I think Marseille is probably the guy. What do you think, Michael?
I feel like Rossetto is more defensive-minded, more kind of safe with the ball. If we're going to try and play more defensive against Miami on the road, I feel like it might make sense to use him, because he's terrible at getting forward. Amar is much better at getting forward, but I think it also exposes you a little bit more. So it really depends what Pineda wants to do this game, tactically speaking. So it's really like a 50-50. Based on like his previous behavior, he will continue to play like we normally play, which is forward thinking and progressive. So my money would probably be on Amar then. And yeah, that's, to me, and hopefully Miyomba can come in for more time than not later on. But him and Sosa, or Sosa and Amar, that's going to be another one of these instances of our midfield just conceding the whole space, and it's going to make everyone very nervous. Rossetto has a chance of, locking some things down in the defensive, area, but like he's the more of attacking midfielder, so it's like it's not going to go well. So I think it's going to be a high scoring game. So we can get into our score predictions in a little bit, and I think it'll probably be a couple goals for at least both teams.
Yeah. And I think, to round out the trio, probably up top, however they do it, if they're wingers or if it's Almada in the middle. Obviously, it's Almada in the middle, and then maybe the two strikers up top. At least for me, I think Yorgos Giacomakis comes back in, and Tyler Wolff starts next to him. But what do you think, Michael?
Yeah, I actually had that same one too. I hope Jaco can play a long time. The guy has had a really hard time with playing 90 minutes, so it's tough. I mean, we might not be able to have him the whole time out.
Yeah, and you're talking about having somebody out
for the second half substitute, but
yeah, you have to, whatever players you have, you also have to take into account this weather. And it being like 97 degrees even in the evening with the massive humidity. I mean, look, we had Robbie Robinson, who we've nicknamed on our show Mr. Glass, because he just constantly is getting injured. He played his first like full 90 minutes, and there's a meme of him everywhere just throwing up on the side of the field, because this weather is no joke. I mean, I know it's hot in Atlanta too, but yeah, it's not good when you're going viral just from you throwing up on the pitch.
Well, we play at a nice air-conditioned stadium. So. That
is true. I forgot about that. Nice.
Exactly.
There's been a lot of talk. I'm curious what you guys think. There's been a lot of talk about Messi not wanting to play on turf, and that some teams might have to put real grass. Do you think Atlanta will put down real grass when Miami comes to town?
Yeah, there is talk of that, and I think there is a possibility. I think right now, I think the answer is no. But obviously for the World Cup, that will happen. Yeah.
Look,
and, Tata Martino knows the stadium really well. So, there might be a possibility that he can talk him into it too, if it were an issue. But that's in September. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, right. If I was Atlanta, I'd say screw you, Messi. Don't play, because that's what we're hoping for, right? Don't play. And other teams are they want Messi to play because you want to sell tickets. Well, Atlanta's doing pretty good in the ticket sale. As far as last time I checked, I don't know if you guys are still getting 40, 50,000 people, or more. But every time I turn it on TV, you got an amazing crowd.
Yeah. It'll probably be sold out even if Messi never touches the field. Exactly. He just sits on the bench. So.
Exactly. So you don't really need him. Right. So if I'm Arthur Blank, I'm like, we're going plastic all day and hope Messi doesn't even play and we have a better chance.
Yeah, just dare Miami to give up points.
Right. But that's in September.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Exactly. And so fully, that's a fantastic question. I think that's a future problem, and maybe we'll talk about that.
That Messi effect around the league.
But exactly. But let's get to that Messi effect and the score line. What effect will he have on the score line? What's your prediction?
I'm gonna go. I kind of like what you guys were saying as far as there might be a lot of goals because again we don't have a great defense. I'll go 3-2 Miami.
Oof. Yeah, I had a feeling that you were gonna go with that, and I'm gonna be a little bit of a homer and hope that we can pull something out on the road, but it's gonna probably not happen. I think it's this. I think it's 2-2. It goes to penalties, and we win the penalty shootout for that.
So I don't think it goes to penalties.
Yeah, with the back lines and the leaky defense of both these teams, I don't know. If it's going to build. So I also had 2-2 as my guess.
But having said all that, Drake Callender is a beast in that goal. So it easily could be 3-1 Miami. Because he stops shots that should go in.
Yeah, absolutely.
His positioning is very, very good. And Guzan has lost a reaction time or two. So it is I fear for our back line and our goalie. But okay. So but Michael, who do you think wins in that 2-2?
Go
ahead, you can say Miami.
Dude, I'm not prepared for a Miami-Atlanta shootout. I'm just not. So I'll just say Atlanta because I want them to win. But, I can't, in good conscience be like, because of evidence and facts and statistics, this is what I think will happen.
Yeah. It's likely that Messi definitely does something here that will break a lot of Atlanta's hearts. And maybe still a lot of people will still be in awe, so I guess maybe all won't be the worst at the end of the day. But probably for your confidence, I'm sure it's brimming. And
I have a question for Peter. For Peter. Do you think there is a reverse Messi effect at all going to happen? Meaning teams will, because this is something that Atlanta has had to deal with for the last maybe not the last 2 years, but before this, after we won the Cup and after 2018, 2019, everyone who came to play us, specifically at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, every time we played every team, it was like it was their Cup final. It was like they were playing out of their minds to try and beat us, and then they would go and absolutely crap the bed against a terrible team the next week. And we're just like, what happened to that team? And then all of a sudden, so it's like, are teams going to really step it up knowing they're playing against someone like Messi and friends? So just kind of like how we experienced a bit.
Yeah, remember when I said all eyes are on Inter Miami? So the opposing teams know that too. And they want to get noticed, and they want to get on that highlight reel of stopping Messi or nutmegging Messi or making him look bad in some way. So all eyes are on Inter Miami right now, and that means if Atlanta's playing Miami, those players have a chance to showcase So I think every game is a showcase. Every game is your cup final, because you've idolized Messi. You had his poster on your wall. Now you have an opportunity of beating him or making him look like a fool or tackling him or whatever the situation is.
Just say winning his respect. Winning his respect. That's what we'll call it.
That too. Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's definitely gonna be amazing to I think experience that as the second game in Messi's MLS career, and yeah, we're looking forward to kind of what Messi will do for this league, because it won't really just impact Inter Miami, but definitely league wide. So really gonna be amazing stuff. But yeah, definitely amazing to have you on, Peter, and yes. Definitely let the good people know where to find you.
Yeah, you can follow us everywhere on Futbol Miami TV, Futbol, F-U-T, like Latinos would spell it. We're a YouTube channel, like you guys, that focus on Inter Miami, but we're on, Facebook, Twitter, even created a TikTok account. Not sure what we're going to do with it, but, we got that
Good
going
job,
too.
Peter.
So
Getting out there with the young ones. That's right.
That's what my wife and my daughter got schooled. We're getting on my case just yesterday, so we got to figure out what to do with that. Yeah, we're everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's there's no shame in twerking for Messi. So that's if you need some ideas for TikTok, that's always
John Tolkien might be interested in doing that.
Peter. Yeah. Right. But anyway, Peter, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and yes, best of luck to you guys when you're not playing LA United.
Right.
But for Michael, I've been AJ, and thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.